Hi, I'm Yulia Kasarenko and you're watching Why Change channel. Today we will talk about another business analyst interview question. The reason I chose this as a topic is because it may be a trick question. It may go like this. Tell me, how would you gather requirements? The trick here is, this question implies that what you do as business analyst is gather requirements. You go around collecting them from the right sources, put them together, tie a neat bow on the package. In reality, this is not how we do business analysis. Gathering means finding things that already exist. You just look carefully in the right places, gather and put them in a basket. A junior analyst may sometimes say here, well, I will ask who my main stakeholders are, I will interview them, and I will ask what their requirements are. Then the candidate will talk at length about capturing these requirements in a document, a backlog, or requirements management tool. They may continue on about naming or numbering the requirements, prioritizing them as must-have and nice-to-have based on what stakeholders told them. In other words, they focus on what happens after they've captured requirements. But the main point of this question is what happens before you capture requirements. Because what you get from stakeholder interviews is their perception of what is happening, their pain points, their understanding of what the problem is, not necessarily requirements. Sometimes they will share their view on how things should work in future, again, from their perspective. What you need to realize is that this information from the stakeholders you've interviewed, their opinion on what is happening and why may not be the full picture. It may reflect the needs of a specific department or a region. Your job as a business analyst is to define what is required to implement a holistic and successful business change. So you need to understand the big picture. You need to understand the real problem, which is frequently a combination of multiple problems, root causes, and deficiencies. What you gather from your stakeholders is information, facts, details, artifacts, and you learn about it from their perspective. You also need to do your own research. You need to gather data, examples, artifacts, and analytics. You have to do research and due diligence, structure and restructure, decompose the answers, dig in and understand each piece of the puzzle. This is what we do when we do analysis. We use business analysis technique to examine each part of the whole and all the interactions. Creating business requirements is a process of synthesis. We need to figure out what needs to change, how we rearrange, modify, or create new components, processes, and activities to achieve that overall goal, the desired business outcome. So the answer to the question, how do you gather requirements, is not about asking questions and then writing down the answers. It's not about scribing. It's about listening, eliciting, researching, collecting information, analyzing everything, validating whether that analysis makes sense, and then formulating what is required to achieve the desired state. If you are able to speak to this point and emphasize the role of analysis versus gathering information and give examples of some business analysis techniques that you would use, this will show your interviewer that you understand the meaning of analysis. If you would like to learn more about business analysis process and techniques, check out other videos on my channel and previous webinar recordings and the links provided in the video description. Best of luck on your professional journey and until next video. Bye-bye.